are, man.
Radio Raheen.
That's what they say.
Good. Is the radio on?
The radio is on, and the stars in the building.
Good.
So, Tom, I cannot decide if you have the toughest job in the world or the easiest. You got a fighter who's willing to fight anybody and wants to fight all year, but nobody that wants to fight him that you want in the ring with him. Talk to me about the struggle being Tom Loeffler and having a superstar like Gennady Golovkin in that situation.
Well, it's the best job working with Gennady. It just becomes very tough getting people to agree to fight him. I mean, I have to give Willie Monroe Jr. a lot of credit. As soon as I approached Artie Palula with it, he was actually surprised. He's like, people don't usually want to fight southpaws, and Gennady told me, it's like, okay, this time he wants to fight a southpaw just to adjust his style. You know, we didn't get a response from Cotto. I reached out to his people, and it just, you know, you can't negotiate if you don't even get a response. So that's one of those fights that either Cotto has to fight him in the future, or vacate the title according to the WBC. Right now, this is the best fight available for Gennady. Willie Monroe is rated #2 in the WBA. He's been on ESPN 4 times in the last year. He's a tremendous boxer with great reflexes, great boxing skills, and it's going to be a completely different style than what Gennady has seen, in the last couple of years. So it's a big challenge for Gennady, and if he wants to continue his knockout streak of 19 knockouts in a row, it's going to be a tough assignment for him.
No, I mean, I got to get into the business with you because you're a businessman. You're on HBO. They love him over there. But these fighters, they're looking for big paydays. Is part of the problem wanting to get, more money to fight a guy like this and being on HBO than maybe they would garner from another opponent?
Well, the excuse used to be that Gennady doesn't bring any money to the table, and that's pretty much out the window now. People can't use that excuse anymore. I mean, Chavez was going to get guaranteed $7 million, and then another $5 million if he lost. So, that Gennady's opponents in the middleweight division are some of the highest paid fighters around, and HBO's made a significant financial investment in Gennady's career. So with his ticket sales, with the support of the television networks, he's one of the most marketable fighters around. It's just, trust me, it's not the financial part of it. It's the people. They just don't want to fight him, regardless of what the offer is, and that's the problem we're running into.
Now, for clarity's sake, I'm not sure if what you just said there. You said that Cotto was going to get $7 million to fight him, and then 5 more if he lost. What did you mean? Chavez, yeah. 5 more if he lost?
Guaranteed. What I understood from the Top Rank deal was he was going to get guaranteed $7 million, going to be on pay-per-view plus upside, and then if he lost, they were going to guarantee him $5 million for the next fight. So he was guaranteed $12 million, and he didn't even have to win a round.
We just had to get clear on that so the internet doesn't go crazy. All right. All right. So if you are successful with Willie Monroe, as people expect you to be, what are the what's the likelihood that we can actually make a mega fight? Like, I mean, if it's not Cotto, then who? Like, how are you got to be looking, a few steps ahead.
Oh, I think, we said 2015 will be another breakout year for Gennady. I mean, he started out great with the fight with Martin Murray. Tough fight, tough fighter. He was rated #1 in WBC. He showed his heart and his skills and the ability to take the punch that he did, against Gennady. He went 11 rounds with him and had a great response from that fight. If Gennady's successful against Willie Monroe, then it's 2 fights in the first part of the year, and then it's my job to put together 2 more fights for him. And you got Andy Lee fighting Peter Quillen for the WBO title. You got David Lemieux fighting Ngicom for the IBF title. So we think by the fall we'll have, if everything goes the right way, Abel and Gennady are focused on Willie Monroe Jr. It's my job to plan ahead, and I think we'll see a big fight in the fall. We don't know if it'll be Cotto. We hope it'll be, but if not, Canelo's fighting a week before Gennady. That would be a huge fight. Carl Froch is, I finally got, I was talking to Eddie Hearn, and he's finally kind of warmed up to the idea and realizes that would be a great fight and a big marketable fight. So I think you'll see something, a big promotion coming up down the road.
Well, you talked about Andy Lee and Peter Quillen. Well, obviously they're with PBC. You got, Cotto, who's now with Rock Nation. What is it like the relationship between the promotion companies? Are those fights that can be made? Are these promoters willing to work with you, work together? Can they get on HBO? I mean, what are these kind of hurdles like?
Well, I try to stay out of all the politics with boxing. I mean, I do the best job for Gennady in terms of getting an opponent in the ring with him who's best for his career, regardless of which promoter they're with. I have a good relationship with Al Heyman. We've had fighters fight. Jonathan Banks fought Seth Mitchell twice. He fought Antonio Tarver. So, it's really my job then to create the best matchup, regardless of which promoter they're with. And Gennady has an exclusive contract with HBO. At the same time, we're going to try to make the best fights available for him. So I think you'll see that won't be the hurdle. The hurdle is going to be if a fighter actually really wants to fight Gennady, or if they're going to hide behind some other excuse as to why they can't fight Gennady.
So you feel like if a fighter wants to fight him, that those fights can get made regardless of these promoter conflicts? Because those seem to be pretty big conflicts. He can't leave HBO. These guys, can't leave NBC or Spike or, who knows where Rock Nation's going to be. We got Andre Ward, who's also with Rock Nation. That's a fight everyone wants to see. I mean, how are these fights going to possibly get made with those kind of obstacles? And is Andre Ward even on the table at this point?
Well, Andre's on the table. He's a great fighter. You can't take anything away from Andre Ward. He had won that Super 6 tournament. It's been a while. He's been out of the ring for a while because of his legal issues. But now he signed with Rock Nation, and that would be a great fight. It just has to make sense. My understanding is Andre wants to get back in the ring and have a couple of fights to get kind of readjusted, and if that fight makes the most sense, we'll go in that direction. If really the Chavez fight now, he's fighting Fanfara, and there really isn't an obstacle making the fights for Gennady. The biggest obstacle is if someone actually will agree, and that's why we give Willie Monroe a lot of credit, because he jumped at the opportunity to fight Gennady.
Well, since I get to do the interviews, I get to put my favorite fight in the ring first. So I'd say Andre Ward and Triple G. Would you be willing to negotiate at a catchweight? Because we know Ward's not coming all the way down, and Triple G and Abel have said they don't want to go all the way up. Is there a catchweight possibility that could be made?
Yeah, we wouldn't expect Andre to come all the way down to 160 pounds, but Gennady's proven to be more marketable right now as far as selling out the StubHub Center. He sold the most amount of tickets of anyone that fought at the StubHub Center. Andre fought Arthur Abraham there, and Gennady pretty much doubled the tickets that were sold there, and his HBO ratings are consistently at the top each year. So I had some discussions with his manager, with James Prince, and with Dave Itzkovich from Rock Nation, and that's something that Andre's a great champion at 168, Gennady's a great champion at 164. That'd probably be something where we could work out a catchweight and for it to make sense. The biggest problem with that fight right now, where a lot of people say, okay, I want to see the Andre Ward fight. But the biggest problem is Andre Ward's never been on pay-per-view, and Gennady's never been on pay-per-view. And for the financial guarantees that Andre would be looking for, and then for Gennady to fight someone like Andre, he would want to have big financial guarantees. It's just it's not there right now. If Andre gets back on track and becomes where he was 4 years ago, where he won the Super 6 tournament, and if Gennady continues to rise and continue to sell the type of tickets, if he sells out the form, then all of a sudden you got a fight that starts making sense financially.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate the candor and the time.
Good.
Radio Raheem with Tom Loeffner.